it going, everyone? Thanks for joining me. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your very own low-profile roof rack at a fraction of the cost it would be to buy one. We're going to get right into it, so stay tuned. Excuse the crude drawing. This is a top view depiction of my vehicle. What we got is, for if you can't tell, this is your front end with the hood, windshield, and then your main roof. Here are your factory roof racks, at least for my vehicle. And what we're going to be doing is just removing them, taking out the bolts, and deleting them. And we're going to be utilizing the factory mounting locations for our new low profile roof rack. And so what we're going to be doing is having two side rails, both made out of aluminum, and we're going to have just some tabs. I'm going to weld them on, but if you don't have a welder, you can just do some L brackets and bolt them to the side rails. Now those tabs are just going to have bolt holes through them, and what we're going to also need to make is some spacers to drop down into the gutter, and they bridge the gap between the factory mounting holes and the height of your new roof rack. And since there is no mounting locations in the front, we are going to be welding on a tab up front to place an adjustable foot to just apply a little bit of upward tension to the roof rack and stabilize it a bit. From there, we're going to have the side rails and there we're going to have the side rails mounted, and going for our crossbars is going to be some 80/20 extruded aluminum. And you can choose how many you want depending on how much money you want to spend. And up front, a wind fairing to reduce the noise while driving. Now for the rear, I am going to be putting a crossbar at a 45-degree angle right across here in case I ever want to mount lights or something like that to it. And then additionally, this bar here is going to be half the width of all the other bars because of the antenna that we have on the 4Runner. Now there are several locations that you can get 80/20 extruded aluminum at varying prices. Shop around, find your best price. As far as the rest of the aluminum that you'll need for this build, you can get that from fastmetals.com. Which reminds me, I want to take a second to talk to you guys about fastmetals.com. It's a great company, and they actually help cover part of the materials cost for this build. So if you're looking for metal for any projects, say maybe a roof rack, check them out, fastmetals.com. And I want to thank them again for helping out with this build. Alright, well, I've already gotten going on the template for the side rails of the roof rack. It's a very important step. Take your time here. The more accurate your template is, the more accurate your, the better looking your roof rack's going to be. So the first thing I did was made a stencil out of cardboard. And this was easy to just go up, hold it up to the car, and cut away what I needed to. And yeah, it's a little floppy, so this was only a first step. Then I transferred it over to wood, MDF, and I did have to make some changes once it was, more rigid, which, that's why you want to do one step at a time, because the front curve here wasn't quite lined up perfectly. once I had transferred it onto here. So I did make some changes here. Now, you don't need to go as complex as I am going if you want to keep it more simple. A straight 3-inch bar, with a 45 at the front and a 45 at the back, or you don't even have to do a 45 at the back, but you can make it as simple or as complex as you want to. I want it to look very nice and clean, so I want it to follow the roof line. Now, like I said, it's 3 inches wide, but as it comes forward, this does get wider, especially as the tape, this angles down here. I bought a 4-inch wide sheet of aluminum. You may, if you want, you can buy a 5-inch, and that way this can be cut all in one piece. The 4-inch, it does leave about that much off. And so what I'm going to do is actually weld the piece on there, and then sand it flush, so that way I have the full size here. Like I said, if you want to save some money, and you have access to a welder, that's what I'm doing, and that's what you can do as well. You could even just do a 3-inch all the way down and just have to weld a larger piece in here. But if you don't have access to a welder, then I would say you would want to go with a 5-inch wide piece, so that way you can just cut it out solid. But however, another way you can save money is I bought an 8-foot long piece, and that made shipping outrageous. So if you wanted to save money, you can buy 2 4-foot pieces and then bolt them together with some brackets in the center. I chose not to do that for structural reasons, but again, shipping was expensive. I'm going to be cutting my aluminum with the PrimeWeld Cut60 plasma cutter. If you do not have access to a plasma cutter, it is just aluminum, so it's soft metal. It will cut easily. You can use an angle grinder, you can use a jigsaw with a metal cutting blade, or sawzall with a metal cutting blade. There's all sorts of options. Alright, next what we're going to do is actually weld those little tabs, little extra tabs, to this part of the aluminum, and grind them smooth so you can't see the weld. And that way we can get the template going, cut out. Alright, well, things are coming along nicely. I've got this edge pretty much cleaned up. Once I get both sides fully completed, I'll go through and do any final cleanup. But as of right now, it's looking pretty good. Next, what I'm actually going to do to this edge, I'm going to actually do it to all the edges, but I've got this pneumatic chamfering tool. Some of them can be pretty expensive, but this I found on Amazon. There's actually a few different ones that all look the same, being sold by different people. I got it for like $62, so it is, a Chinese knockoff, but it's pretty well made and works pretty good. And for $62, you really can't beat that. Some of them are hundreds of dollars for like name brand ones, but yeah, 62 bucks, not bad for a little gamble, and quite frankly the gamble's paid off because giving a nice clean chamfer along all these edges, so that when for any ropes or anything like that I have to strap around this, it shouldn't be having such a rough edge that might cut through the rope. Might have to wait a little bit longer on shipping time because it is coming from China, but again, definitely worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and chamfer these edges here. Alright, before we finish up with the side rails, I actually want to get going on the mounts first, so that way I can test fit it and see how that bottom line looks, how the curve looks on the vehicle in case I need to make any changes to it. I'm going to be using the factory mounting holes for the factory roof rack to mount my roof rack, but I do need some spacers to do that, so that's what I'm getting ready to make here. Alright, let's talk about attachment to the roof of your vehicle. Depending on the vehicle you have, you may have to do something completely different than what I'm doing. But maybe this may help some of you out there. So, essentially I'm going to be using the factory mounting holes that are there for the factory roof rack. But I need to have some spacers to bring the mounting point up higher for my new roof rack. So I went ahead and made these. They basically will just slide right in here over top of the mounting holes, and I did cut out little spots for the gasket, the channel gasket, to come in and slide underneath to kind of keep those secure and in place. And I can also put some silicone in there and keep everything watertight. Now I still need to level these off, so that way the top surface is going to be sitting level with the ground, and therefore a nice level mounting platform for the actual roof rack itself. Okay, so I actually went back in and fine-tuned the bottom contour of my side rails here. I did a quick mock-up with some wooden brackets that I can just clamp this to on the car to see how the contour is looking, and it felt like it needed a little bit of adjustment. So that brings me to one thing I would do differently, which is I'd actually probably start with these spacers, so that way I can make, you know, a little wooden bracket like that and clamp up my stencil itself, because fine-tuning and making your stencil, like I said, as perfect as possible, and spending as much time on the stencil will minimize the amount of time you spend on the metal, and it's much easier to shape wood than metal, obviously. So yeah, that's one thing I would have done differently, so that way I wouldn't have had to come back and fine-tune this edge. Just to touch on these spacers here, might have mentioned it, but you know, some of the other manufacturers that make low-profile roof racks like this for the 4Runner even just use 2-cylinder spacers, and I just don't think that's going to be as clean looking. But additionally, each one of these I have machined down to be pretty snugly fit into that gutter, because that way any side by side, that gutter is a pretty structural part there, obviously, and any side by side forces will be strengthened by that snug fit, rather than relying on just the bolts to be your only structural anchoring point. Now the bolts are only being used to hold it down against the roof, and these are actually what's providing structural stability for side-to-side motion. So that being said, the channel, the gutter, it tapers. All 4 of them are different widths, thicknesses, and then on top of that, in order to make a level surface for the rails to mount to, I actually had to shave off and angle the top sides of these, and I'll tell you why. I initially thought I could try and just angle the bottom side, that way they sat straight up and down in that gutter, but it's really the angle of the gutter that's determining how these sit, and not the surface, the bottom surface within the gutter. So I had to actually angle the top side so they'll sit, you know, kind of angled out a little bit, but this top surface will be flat. Again, all different angles pretty much, so that's something to keep in mind when you're doing this, you know, just take measurements. That being said, I went ahead and marked them, faster front, faster rear, so that way I know which one goes where. So next, what I'm going to be doing here actually is I'm going to put a couple holes through the side rails so I can mount a crossbar in the front and a crossbar in the back, and mock that up on the car to see how everything's positioning wise before I go ahead and weld on the tabs that will be our mounting brackets. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did here. I printed up some stencils so that way I can glue them in place and make sure that I'm drilling exactly where I need to be drilling. And I've got the two clamped together so that way they're identical. right, we've got the mounting tabs welded onto the side rails. We actually got it all mocked up on the car right now, so that way I can work on the front wind fairing. As you can see, the design's real simple. There's just some tabs welded onto the side rails, and then those interface with the spacers that we made previously. And then you just use the factory mounting holes, and you do need to buy longer bolts. 70 millimeter is what length is what I went with. Again, if you don't have a welder, it's not a big deal. You can just get some L brackets and bolt it to the side rails instead of welding it like I did. Now, as far as the front wind fairing and designing that, I'm not doing anything fancy. Same process as the side rails. I got some cardboard that I started with a curve cut, held it up there, you know, and got a relatively matching curve to the roof line. Then I transferred it over to a wood template stencil, and you know, once I got it even more perfected, now I'm gonna go ahead and cut that curve into the aluminum, and we will work from there. So what I'm going to do now is cut out this center section here, and the reason why I'm going to be doing that is because I'm actually mounting a light bar on the roof rack. It's another thing I'm going to be doing, because this is actually not tall enough by itself, which I knew it wasn't going to be, but I want to save money. Since all that's going to be cut out anyways, I'm just going to be welding these tabs on here on both sides. Now, if you don't have a welder, or you're not installing a light bar, then you're probably going to want a wider piece of aluminum when making your wind fairing. But that's my next step, so I'm going to get working on that. Alright, things are coming along. We've got the front wind fairing all done with the light bar installed just to see how it fits and everything. Everything's looking good. Also made the tabs, the mounting tabs for the front fairing so it can attach to the side rails. You can go with a thinner, I went with 1/4 inch for side rails and front wind fairing. I've seen some people or manufacturers use 1/8 of an inch there, but they also have a 80-20 bar going across to reinforce it, and if they have a light mounted, it's mounted to that 80-20 bar, not directly to the wind fairing, where I'm mounting it directly to the wind fairing. Anyways, so yeah, so we got the tabs mounted to the side rails made. Just gotta weld them on, and then we are ready to clean it up and do the finishing touches, aka the finish. Well, we've got the roof rack parts all cleaned up and ready for paint. Originally I was planning on powder coating them, but I have not finished building my large powder coating oven yet. So we're going to be spray painting it for the time being. Now keep in mind, prices do change, so this is how much it cost me for my build at the time of filming. From Fast Metals, we bought a 2-foot length of 1 inch by 1.5 inch flat bar, which was $18.44. A 4-foot length of 1/4 inch by 5 inch flat bar, which was $30.38. A 3-foot length of 1/4 inch by 3 inch, which was $13.05. And then 2 8-foot lengths of 1/4 inch by 4 inch. Those were $35.07 each, bringing the total to $132.01 from Fast Metals. Okay, so I ordered 9 48-inch length, 1 inch by 2 inch 80/20 bars. Those were $16.90 each. 1 48-inch length, 1 inch by 1 inch 80/20 bar, and that was $11.10. I also got 38 1 inch 1/4 stainless steel button head socket cap screws at 22 cents a piece, and 4 1/2 inch 1/4 stainless steel button head socket cap screws at 15 cents a piece, bringing my total at this website to $172.16. I did have to buy longer mounting bolts than what came with the factory mounting bolts. I got a 10-pack from Amazon of M8 1.25 by 70 millimeter. That was $9.99. And then I bought stainless steel adjustable leveling feet, 4-pack. Only needed 2, but it was $8.99. And some rubber trim for the front fairing, which was $10.99. I have not included shipping in the totals here because shipping is a variable depending on your location. Now this total does not include the price of the light bar, as that is another variable. Depending on what light bar you buy, prices can vary a lot. The light bar I got is by Extreme LED. It's their 40-inch Extreme Stealth 150-watt combo beam LED light bar, and it goes for $245 if you're interested in getting that one. So that brings our grand total to $334.14, which is a huge savings. If we were to compare it to the Southern Style off-road roof rack for the 4Runner, which is a very similar design, we are talking, if we're doing the same amount of crossbars that I have here, a total of $1,403. And again, that's not including shipping. So if those numbers don't motivate you to go out and build your own roof rack, I don't know what will, because they sure motivated me. Alright, first step of installation is we're going to go ahead and put some silicone around all the factory mounting locations here, just to help seal any water out. And then we're going to take the matching spacer that we made and just plop it right down in there for right now, making sure it's lined up with those bolt holes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other 3 locations. Next, we're going to take these adjustable feet. I went ahead and put a nylon lock nut on there and tightened it all the way down, so that way it's easier to adjust when it's on the car. And then a regular nut on there to tighten it up and lock it in place. We're going to go ahead and take that and just screw it into that front stabilizer mounting tab, so that way we're ready to go. All right, now we're going to go ahead and mount this on the car. All right, I've already went ahead and put Loctite on all my bolts just to make this process quicker and easier. We set it on here and start tightening down the bolts. Pretty simple. Don't tighten them all the way because you may need to make some minor adjustments to a little bit of wiggle here and there to make everything line up perfect. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other side now. Okay, so I went ahead and used this rubber trim and just put it along the edge here so that way I can prep all the crossbars here for mounting. I'm going to go ahead and start by just getting the thread started on the opposite side, and then come back to this side and do the same. I decided to leave the aluminum bare for right now since I don't have my powder coating oven done yet. Figured spray painting it probably wouldn't go the greatest. So we'll take care of that later. Now that you got all your crossbars installed and tightened up, go ahead and check your alignment and make sure everything is looking good. If it is, you can go ahead and tighten up your mounting bolts, and then we can go ahead and adjust these front feet to apply just enough upward tension to stabilize the roof rack. You don't want to apply too much pressure, but just enough. Once you got it where you like it, go ahead and snug up your tightening bolt so that way it doesn't loosen up and move on you. Alright, well now we just have to do the wind fairing. So I'm going to go ahead and install this rubber guard just to help prevent any damage to the paint on my roof of my vehicle. And we're also going to go ahead and attach the light bar because it'll be a lot easier on the bench than it will on the roof. Alright, well that's going to do it for this video. I think it turned out really well. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the crossbars. Should I leave them bare aluminum? Should I powder coat them? I don't know. Also, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and maybe learned something as well. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. It will greatly help the channel. And I will see you guys next time.
Welding.